Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I know it's been a while. I want to thank all of you guys for the well wishes. It really means a lot. Really do appreciate that. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different than what we normally do, but it's going to be pretty fun. So, stay tuned for this episode of I wonder if this will get me kicked off of YouTube. Alright, even if it does, I've got a Rumble account and I'm probably just start posting there. Yeah, I put a video on YouTube that was unlisted just for my uncle of my son shooting a 22, and it was like 30 seconds long maybe, and he had ear protection and eye protection, and I was this close to him, and they took it down. They deleted the video. It said that it was because it showed a young person doing something dangerous, engaged in a dangerous activity. Well, I think that's pretty funny considering that it's the same fuckers who don't even know what a woman is. Anyway, I digress. Alright, what we're going to do today is we are going to be turbocharging this bug zapper because they're pretty anemic as they are. Still, kind of fun, but we're gonna really hop it up. What we're gonna do is take the circuit board out of it and just replace it with this step-up module. You can get these on eBay. I don't know how much they are anymore, $5-10, something like that. This is what they look like, and I think that they're anywhere from like 40 to 100,000 volts, and that just steps up, I believe, like 7 or 8 volts. So instead of powering this with double A's, we're going to be powering it with two 14500s, which is perfect for powering this module. Alright, let's dig in. This came from Lowe's last year on clearance. I happened to notice this year that they've gone up in price. Still, I mean, this is a pretty inexpensive project to do. So, you're going to take those screws out. And since the circuit board on here has its own switch, we're going to have to put our switch on it. So you'll need some kind of momentary switch. The best switch for this would be one of those spring-loaded cover switches to keep from accidentally shocking yourself. I've been messing around with these things, I don't know, 5 years. The whole range of them, and so far I haven't hit myself with one. But they're quite effective for house flies. I want to guess in general. So you got 6 screws, and then this comes off like so, and then there's your circuit board that steps your voltage up to, I think these are like, says on here. And don't forget to put this back on if you want it. What are these? Says on here somewhere. $2,750 volts at 0.028 milliamps. So as we step up the voltage, your amperage goes down, the voltage goes up. So we'll be using more voltage, a little more than double the voltage but we'll be taking it a lot higher. And that'll make for a longer spark. Well, we got one more screw right here. I got a bunch of these circuit boards just waiting for a project. So we're just going to desolder this stuff. From the board. Because we'll use these leads. You got two blue wires over here. And they make these bug zappers in all different kinds of brands. You're going to have the same setup though. You're going to have 3 wires going to your field. One of them is the center and the 2 are the outside meshes. Unless of course it's just 2 wires where you only have 2 meshes instead of 3 like this one does. But in this case, we're going to keep these 2 blue wires, the outside grids, together, and the red wire, the center grid, separate. As far as the 12K build is coming, been working with Sergey to make a soft start. Come on. Soft start circuit for it. And that is taking forever because I'm not an electrical engineer. But if you tell me to solder something, I could do that. Just tell me what needs to go where and I can stick things together. So we've been working on that. Now, we're going to have to take this off. And I'll clean that up a little bit. Because that's where our module is going to sit down in. Now, I think this is one of the 40,000 volt modules. As you can see, there's some space in here, but some of them are longer, like that long, and they'll fill up this whole spot. You might even have to take off this support, but they all will fit. And these 2 wires look like speaker wire. Those are your hot wires, so those are your high voltage wires. And here's your positive and negative. Now what you want to keep in mind, since this is high voltage, and going back to that bigger arc that I was telling you about, you need to have your high voltage wires really insulated well, because you don't, one of these is going to connect here and one of these is going to connect here. You don't want this arcing out inside here or even onto your hand through all of that. So you really want it insulated well. Okay, now for the switch, I'm gonna use the existing hole right here and drill that out with a 1/2-inch bit for this. You know, your switch, you're probably not going to have the same switch, so yours is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have to move you a second to get in here. Alright, sorry about that. Halfsies. Uh-oh. What I hit. Well, we're good. Alright, let me, I gotta find my hot glue gun, so I'm gonna pause you. No, okay, it's right here. So, yeah, I didn't realize it until a few years ago, but there's more than one different type of hot glue. You can get it in black, which is like hot glue electric tape. That stuff's neat. And this stuff right here, I got some of this, some of your regular stuff, and then some of the black stuff with a body kit off of Amazon. Well, this stuff is really sticky. Okay, where were we? Alright. So, the module is going to sit down in here like that. We'll hot glue it with the flat side down. Now, when you're doing this, you can't have it all the way up there because of this. So, whatever one you get, you need to make sure that you have enough room for it right there. So I do. Okay. I'm gonna just get some heat shrink tubing and solder this up. Looks like about the right size. Man, we might even be able to do the right colors. How about that? So, I'm going to just solder the ground together first, and then we'll splice our switch in the hot wire. Doesn't really matter which one you put your switch on. Make that a little better, a little more better. You guys know the proper way to solder two wires together? I'll leave it down in the comments. There was something I was going to tell you. What was it? Oh yeah, I haven't been busy because, I can't get parts. And it reminded me of having this conversation with Sergey about our saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And the Russians have an equivalent saying, except it's weird. It's got to do with something like growing another hand out of your ass. I think this piece of tubing is a little bit big, but we'll see. Like I say, it's not as crucial on the power wire. Well, we need that one. A dog hunt. Alrighty. Let's pre-10 our switch. Oh, yeah, we need that one too. And you can also put one together like this. I just painted this Shake Hands with Danger yellow because I kept losing the damn thing. Put the switch here too. But I use this one in the garden, and it's gotten a lot of use. It gets a lot of use, especially this time of year with Japanese beetles. But all that is these two wires are running to a couple of house wires that are wrapped around these posts, and they just go out. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this in here off camera. Another thing about hot glue guns is they only work if they're plugged in. I will say this about them. With all this 3D printing and whatnot that I've been doing, by the way, I've been having a blast with that. Let me see if I got this thing here to show you. Yeah, just for shits and giggles, I scanned a hopper and came up with that. Now you can see where the scan, after I printed this, you can see where the scan didn't see down in here or in here, but I think that I could stick this on a half of a factory mag and get the darn thing to work. So I need to do, I haven't really messed with the scanner very much because it's really aggravating, but I did add some memory to my computer I just need to mess around with it more. Using that scanner is very time consuming. Oh, here's some sights for the BB machine gun that I made. Might like those. Yeah, pretty neat, huh? Okay, maybe our glue gun's hot enough. So, yeah, like I say, if you can find one of those switches with a safety cover on it, that would be a lot better than this, as far as safety is concerned. Because yeah, all it takes is that. I take another one with the house wires walking with me in case I run into any bugs, and I've accidentally hit the button on that one too many times, and you know, I've had some close calls with it, but so far I'm okay. Alright, we're just gonna touch these wires on there. Let's see. And that is all there is to the circuit. I'm gonna glue this in. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about the hot glue. See that? Yeah, hot glue will absorb moisture. So, you don't want that in there. You need to dry your hot glue before you use it, just like 3D printing filament. It's got plenty of moisture in it from being out here in the trailer in South Carolina summer. It was pretty warm here the other day. The heat index was 106. I'm gonna trim these down a bit, but not too much, because I want to be able to get my heat shrink tubing on them and solder the connections together without shrinking my tubing. So I'm going to cut them down about halfway. Now, if you got one of these inside and it's hot and muggy outside, when you go outside, you'll get condensation on your grids immediately. You hit that button and it'll show you arcs all over. It's really cool. I'll pop this in the refrigerator and show you that. It's not too humid out here today, oddly enough. Been messing with my wife. She doesn't do too good in the heat. And that day after it was so hot, it was still pretty hot. She said, man, this feels like the first day of fall. Because, I mean, it kind of had that feeling to it. I mean, it was still really hot. But, I mean, we are where we are. Sometimes you just gotta solder it any old way you can. I got a new soldering iron because even though I did get pretty good at soldering while looking directly at the unit, because when I would look away, it would stop working. I just got fed up with that. And then I saw somebody doing a review on this one that just came out. Something like Chinese copy of a real nice one, but it is a real nice one. I don't know how you say it, but I mean, it wasn't bad. If you do a decent amount of soldering, like, yeah, I mean, I highly recommend it. I love it more than that other piece of crap, even though that other piece of crap was like the bee's knees when it got it. AIHUN, however the hell you pronounce that. Well worth it. Ah! You son of a bitch. Ow! Alright. I'm gonna put some of this on there first. And this. Remember when I said it was sticky? Yeah, it probably wasn't the best idea. can get this on there now. Yeah, we're gonna forgo the black tape. We'll put it on after this. Okay, what can I unplug that I'll need in just a minute now? Okay then. Now we got one more. It helped me remember to put some black tape on that. What do you guys call it? You call it electrical tape? You call it black tape? Is it still okay to call it black tape? Thanks for reminding me about the heat shrink tube. I really appreciate that. Should have been a little bit louder. Yeah, I try anytime I'm messing with high voltage to not have sharp ends on any connection, because that gives the angry pixies launch pad, and they maybe. Now, I'd have to go all the way inside to get my... No, here we go. Yeah, and besides that, it's easy to wear through your insulation. Hot. Okay, so that is basically done, and we're gonna put a little bit of this tape on there. And we gotta tuck all that in there, so I'm not gonna put too much. get these scissors off of eBay. They're made in Pakistan. Good scissors. You can get them in all different sizes. Really like them. They call them tailor scissors. Carpet scissors, carpet shears. Never did understand calling scissors shears, but you get some people in the hair business call them shears. Guess they cut a lot of sheep's hair. Alrighty. Let's get it on our stobs. Supports. Yeah, that is tight. So I'm just going to tuck the wires right on the sides like so. And I would put more hot glue there if I hadn't turned it off already. So I think it'll be okay. Alrighty, and this thing, I kind of like these on these rackets. Yeah, another thing about these modules, you never want to short them out on the output in the high voltage. It'll fry them. Like on this one, if I were to short those out, it would fry the module. I've had that. I think I made that one last year, and I haven't done that with it yet. Fortunately, all this stuff's fairly inexpensive. I have noticed the modules going up a little bit over the years. Got to talking with Sergey about making a Japanese beetle trap. Something like your standard Japanese beetle trap with the yellow plastic thing they fly into and then go down into a bag. But we were going to have it like have them go through a tube with an optical sensor and a couple of grids. And one of these modules that when it trips the sensor, the module fires and zaps the bug on the way down. And he was saying that he could even incorporate, we could have a remote control and do all this stuff for him. Like, can you make it play music whenever it zaps a bug? Like Metallica, Ride the Lightning, that'd be awesome. So you hear that every time it zaps a bug. Okay, now it uses E's instead of double A's. So it's gonna keep trying to get this across, but I don't think I have yet. Just keep going in a different direction. It's high voltage and it's going to want to arc at the closest connection. So these always arc in here when they don't have anything in the grid. Unless like I say, you got it somewhere cool, like inside in the air conditioned house, and walk outside and it's real humid, then it'll light everything up. That's what I'm going to try to do to test this, because if I just hit that button and go, and it would be arcing in here, you couldn't see anything. But yeah, I'm going to do that, and we're going to get something and put in the grid to see if it's working. While we're waiting for that to cool off, I figured I'd take you out here and show you the beetle traps I got going on. As you can see, this one's pretty busy. Now, you'll have people say, well, those things just attract beetles and it just puts more of them in your yard. And these beetles actually do eat your grass. So when they're in the grub form, they get under there and they'll eat the roots and whatnot. But I guess all those BBs help, because my yard's looking pretty doggone good this year. Anyway, no, I've got these traps out here for the fruit trees, and you know that it certainly does bring the beetles in, but I've also got chickens, and I'll get like about a half a pound of beetles every evening, and the chickens love them. I made this what you call it, a hanger post, whatever, out of cattle panel, and I just cut, it was a strip that I had off the top of a cattle panel, and it was all I had to make something like this out of, and as I cut it, it just bent like that, and figured, well, hey, that works out pretty good. Now this one over here, I printed the plastic part on it because these come with extra bags, and I've just used the same bags. What I'll do is I'll come in the evening after they die down, I'll come in here and scoop it up with a just a grocery bag, and then fold it over so that is closed in the grocery bag, and throw it in the freezer for 5 or 10 minutes, and then that gets them quieted down, and then I go dump them out for the chickens, and then just hang them right back up. But anyway, that file was on Thingiverse, and I just modified the file to the size of these bags. The file's for an 8mm nozzle. If you want it, I'll be happy to send it to you. I can't remember how many. I think it printed in 2 hours, but I'll be happy to send you the file if you have a printer want it. I mean, it wasn't hard to do. I did everything in the slicer. Yeah, Old Yeller gets a lot more playtime than this style. This is basically just use these for flies in the house. And yeah, I haven't been able to find the good bug assault gun in a while. And those of you who want to get on to me about killing Japanese beetles, I just want you to think about how much pesticide that industrial farmers put out. Well, one last thing before I go. Made this one as an attempt at having a little extra safety other than just the momentary switch. It's got a toggle switch on it that will only close the circuit when it's down like that. So up like that, we get nothing. Down like that, we get zappiness. Alright guys, later.